You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Oh yeah, baby, that's lovely.
Good morning and welcome to Psychedelics and Cannabis Educational News for December the 4th. Just as you can see, I am alone again today. Cindy has the day off. I don't know where you're located, but I know here in Ontario it is cold out there. So make sure you dress nice and warm wherever you may be. But before I get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like what you are seeing as well as what you are hearing. Today I have news about a study on aging and cannabis, CBD for dogs, got some dosing information that's coming to us from the UK, and will cannabis and mushrooms help with your immunity over the winter? Plus, the US VA rejects a grant for suicide prevention for veterans, which is where I'm going to start the news for today. This first story comes to me from Marijuana Moment, and it says that the VA rejects psychedelic-focused veterans groups grant application for suicide prevention program. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is facing criticism after rejecting a grant application from an organization that helps connect veterans to programs abroad where they can receive psychedelic therapy to treat serious mental health conditions. While VA Secretary Doug Collins has been vocal about his support for expanding access to psychedelics like ibogaine in hopes of curbing the suicide epidemic among veterans, the organization No Fallen Heroes that supports efforts to facilitate the alternative treatment was told last week that it did not qualify for suicide prevention grant program. No Fallen Heroes has been doing the work our government talks about but rarely delivers for the past 5 years. Matthew Wiz Buckle, a Navy Top Gun veteran who founded the group, says. Goes on to say that we've saved and changed the lives of over 100 veterans and first responders through real trauma-informed support and sacred medicine healing retreats. Now, the mission of the organization is specifically to mitigate the veteran suicide crisis, yet No Fallen Heroes received a rejection letter from the VA for the Staff Sergeant Parker Gordon Fox Suicide Prevention Grant. After an exhaustive, in-depth application that our team poured their hearts into, he says. Goes on to say that we can assume why. We use psychedelic-assisted, sacrament-assisted healing, the very thing saving the lives the VA keeps losing, Buckley says. But that's the point. What we're doing as a country clearly isn't working. It is time to do something new, he says. The rejection for the grant comes months after Buckley met with VA staff and the secretary himself to discuss the therapeutic potential of psychedelic medicine for the veteran community. Collins then raised the issue directly with President Donald Trump during a cabinet meeting in May. Collins even mentioned nonprofits like No Fallen Heroes using these compounds to save and change lives, the veteran says. So clearly, the VA bureaucracy is not listening to its own leadership. Shocking, I know. He goes on to say that if the VA and Secretary Collins believe there are organizations doing more to prevent veteran suicide than we are, I generally love to meet them because our track record speaks for itself. We're not here to wait. We're not here to ask for permission, lead, follow, or get out of the way. Our heroes don't have time for bureaucracy. Yeah, he sounds like he's upset. Now, in the rejection letter, VA didn't address the substance of the grant application. Rather, it says simply that the applicant did not meet threshold requirements to qualify, so they were deemed ineligible. Now, Todd Burnett, acting director of the VA Office for Suicide Prevention, says, "We regret to inform you that your agency's SSG Fox SPGP application did not meet one or more of the requirements in 38 CFR 78.2 for threshold review, and it is therefore not eligible to be considered for funding." So here you got the largest organization that's helping to prevent suicide in veterans, but yet the government's not willing to give them a grant in order to help them save lives. It's good to hear them call them out on that, and the fact is, hey, if there's somebody who's doing better work than we are, direct us their way so that we can find out what's going on. So, all righty, hopefully that gets changed down the road. On to story number 2, and I just got to get it set up here. I need somebody to work behind the scenes maybe to move these things around for me. All right, here we go. The next story, it is coming to me from the CannabisScienceTech.com. Headline there says, "Study examines cannabis use patterns and cognitive performance in aging adults." How do cannabis use patterns affect cognitive performance in older adults without dementia? A recently published study found that cannabis use was not generally harmful and was even associated with improved cognition, though with some mixed additional results. Now, to assess the effect of cannabis on cognition, the study examined data from the United Kingdom Biobank, which contains data on over 500,000 individuals over age 40 across Great Britain from 2006 to 2010. Now, the study noted the rise of cannabis use in older adults and the need for more investigation into its effects on age-related cognitive performance. As research on cognitive function in individuals past middle age is inconsistent and limited. Now, the study, called "History of Cannabis Use and Cognitive Function in Older Adults," it was published in Age and Aging back in November. It's only last month. The study consisted of a cross-sectional and longitudinal analysis. Now, researchers examined data from the UKBB on participants aged 60 years old and older. Now, the cross-sectional analysis included 67,000 participants, and longitudinal analysis included 52,000 participants. The average was 67 years of age. Now, the data was collected from the years 2014 to 2019, while data on cannabis use was collected from self-reported questionnaires from the years 2016, 2017, and 2022 and 2023. Our cognitive tests included attention and executive function, processing speed, visual memory, and working memory. The researchers examined past and current cannabis use, as well as patterns of use, which included age of initial cannabis use, frequency, and duration. Now, participants were classified as either lifetime users or no lifetime users. Lifetime users were also categorized as current or former consumers. Regular cannabis use was coded as more than once per month. Overall, cannabis use was not found to be universally harmful to cognition in the participants, and past cannabis use was even associated with better cognitive performance, though some inconsistencies were also found. Now, highlighted results include, out of the total number of participants, 17% reported cannabis use at least once in their lives. And among those participants, 4% had used cannabis in the past year. From the cross-sectional analysis, lifetime users were found to perform better across all cognitive domains compared to those without a history of cannabis use. Current use of cannabis was associated with better working memory. Some mixed results were also seen, they say. For example, early onset of cannabis use, duration, and frequency of use demonstrated an association with improved attention and visual memory, while past use was linked with a slower decline in executive function. Yet, former users who started cannabis before the age 17 demonstrated poorer working memory compared with those who started cannabis at a later age. So there you go. There's some good numbers there. And as I said, there's some mixed results, but it's not all blowing out of the water where it's all negative. So, which is good. All righty. From there, we're going to make our way on to the next story. And this one comes to me from Leafly. And the headline on it says, long-term CBD use linked to reduced aggression in dogs. Researchers analyzing multi-year data from over 47,000 dogs found that those receiving CBD supplements consistently showed less intense aggressive behaviors as they aged compared to dogs not given the product. The findings represent the largest comprehensive assessment of CBD use in companion dog or animals conducted to date. They say dogs with consistent CBD use showed a decline in the intensity of aggressive behaviors over time compared to a more steady trend among non-use dogs, according to the study published in Frontiers in Veterinary Science. The research, conducted using data from the Dog Aging Project, a community science initiative tracking pet health across the United States, examined owner reports on CBD and hemp supplement use between 2019 and 2023. Now, dogs receiving CBD tended to be older, averaging 3 years older than those not given the supplements. The study found that 7.3% of the companion dogs in the U.S. have been given CBD or hemp products at some point, with older animals and those with specific health conditions more likely to receive them. Dogs with dementia showed the highest prevalence of CBD use at 18%, followed by those with osteoporosis. They had 12%, and cancer at 10%. After controlling for various factors, 7 health conditions were significantly associated with CBD use: dementia, osteoarthritis, epilepsy, hip dysphoria, cancer, chronic diarrhea, and gastrointestinal disorders. Well, all these benefits to the dogs. Now, the most finding concerned aggression. Dogs given CBD initially showed higher than average aggression levels compared to non-users, suggesting owners began supplements partly in response to aggressive behavior. Now, over time, however, these dogs displayed below average aggression relative to control animals. The same pattern appeared in secondary measures: reactions to unfamiliar circumstances and reactions to other animals, though no similar improvements emerged for anxiety, agitation, or fear-related behaviors. The researchers emphasized that further randomized clinical trials are needed to establish whether CBD effects on aggression are direct or result from concurrent training or other medication owners may have implemented. Well, there you go. That's good news for the dogs. Keep the dogs calmed down. It's sort of the other week or two ago on the Pace Radio show, we had a guest by the name of James. Oh, I don't want to mess up his last name, but James Tripp and Kim Soltarski. And James was talking about his mother's situation with the Alzheimer's and how giving her a small doses of cannabis oil reduced or eliminated her aggression, the way that she was, the way people can get with Alzheimer's. It calmed her right down. These dogs, it's the same thing. It's calming dogs down from aggression, just like it did with James' mother. So, all righty. From there, we are going to hit our next story, our fourth story of the day. And this one is coming to me. Oops, hit the wrong button there, folks. This one is coming to me from the Cannabis Health News. Headline there says UK experts publish first comprehensive dosing guide for medical cannabis oils. That's right. The Medical Cannabis Clinicians Society has released a landmark guide setting out standardized dosing protocols for cannabis oils in what the organization describes as a major step forward for safe, consistent prescribing across the UK. The publication, which officially launched at the Cannabis Health Symposium in London on November the 25th, is the first practical dosing guide to be made available to prescribers, bringing together evidence, informed protocols, real-world case experience, and clear dosing for commonly treated conditions. Medical cannabis oils, dosing and guidance for safe, effective treatment in adults and children, provides detailed evidence-based strategies for initiating, titrating, and monitoring cannabis oil treatments in 12 commonly treated conditions, including chronic pain, epilepsy, autism, anxiety, headaches, and sleep disorders. It includes structured dosing tables and outlines protocols for managing adverse effects, assessing drug interactions, and implementing harm reduction measures. Dr. Lewis is one of the people who are involved in this, said that the handbook responds to a clear and pressing need for structured dosing approaches in a rapidly evolving field. Our foremost responsibility is to ensure safety while providing effective care, and that requires assessing the guidance that is both rigorous and practical. He also commented that the dosing strategies presented here are grounded in published evidence and shaped by the cumulative expertise of experienced clinicians who have treated thousands of patients across diverse indications. We have designed this resource not only to provide clear protocols, but also to serve as a teaching tool, equipping practitioners with knowledge required to make informed decisions in complex situations. The co-author, Dr. Thomas, says that the guide aims to support clinicians who are new to prescribing medical cannabis, and many of whom have had little or no formal training in cannabinoid medicine. He says that the vast majority of resident doctors had received no training on the endocannabinoid system or medical cannabis at undergraduate or postgraduate level, and the prospect of starting work in this field can be daunting. So this guide lays the foundations to build and develop a clinician's prescribing experience with cannabis oils. Prescribing can go beyond simply choosing which oil to prescribe. Building confidence in titrations allows clinicians to optimize the potential of medical cannabis oils. I remember the first time I talked to my family doctor about prescribing my cannabis. And he was talking about the fact that there is no dosing when it comes to cannabis. And this is 20 years ago when I talked to him about it. And that he couldn't guarantee that each plant that I grew or each bud that I grew and each joint that I rolled would be consistently the same amount of THC and CBD, so on and so forth in them. And that was one reason why he rejected my license and signing it. And this is, good to have a dosing regimen available. It's maybe the first one. It's a start because there's a lot of doctors out there who, as they say, aren't trained on this. And to have a guide such as this for many conditions can only be beneficial for patients going forward. And that's what we're about, helping patients to get better, right? So, alrighty. End that story off, and I will move on to the last story of the day. And this one is probably something that, a lot of people don't even think about. But I have found the benefits of this, and I'll talk about it as we get going in the story. So here we go. This one comes to me from cannabis.net. Headline says, cold season is approaching. Can cannabis and mushrooms help with immunity this winter? That's right. The cold season is upon us, which means that without the proper preparation, it could also mean sick season for many people. This is why it's important to look for ways to stay balanced and strong as winter rolls in. As we say hello to the coldest time of the year, it's the perfect opportunity to maximize natural remedies to strengthen our immunity. Many people find that consuming a balanced hybrid strain or a gentle indica can help deepen rest while reducing the physical and emotional stress that accompanies winters and the holidays. CBD strains are a fantastic way to support your body by reducing inflammation and promoting sense of tranquility without the high for those who prefer. We can't emphasize enough how important it is to keep your stress levels in check during this time of year. Yes, stress levels are very important, people. Integrating cannabis into your winter wellness routine is also a great way to get better sleep. Remember, sleep is critical for a strong, healthy immune system. The human body loves sleep and requires a decent amount for your physical and mental health. If you're struggling to get some shut-eye, you can count on cannabis to get real quality sleep that helps your body fight against seasonal viruses and better than any medicine. Now, mushrooms have been in the limelight over the past few years in the wellness world, and for good reason. Not just psychedelic mushrooms, but varieties such as chaga, turkey tail, lion's mane, and reishi have scientifically been proven to boost emergent energy, immunity, and resilience. Now, these mushrooms are particularly beneficial to strengthen your immunity during the winter. Now, chaga, usually referred to as the king of mushrooms, is renowned for being an antitoxin powerhouse, processing unrivaled antioxidant support. Chaga is an essential ingredient for staying strong this winter. Now, as far as the reishi, it is also known as the queen of immunity. It is effective in calming the nervous system while also strengthening your immune system. Many also report its efficacy at reducing fatigue and depression. Now, turkey tail, while there are many beneficial mushrooms out there, turkey tail is one of the most widely studied mushrooms, especially when it comes to immunity and cancer-fighting properties. Now, lion's mane is beneficial for fighting mental fatigue and can help you stay alert despite the cold season, winter stress that comes along with it. And then you got the fact that we're not getting the amount of sun that we could get to get out and about, and that can be sort of that cold season end of things. So now there are many ways you can easily integrate these ingredients into your daily routine. You can create a tea. You can create a smoothie. They say making smoothies a wellness boosting smoothie filled with blend of lion's mane power, a mix of greens, reishi or cannabis extract, plus a few drops of CBD oil to supercharge it. So drink this smoothie in the morning, and even with a THC microdose for a little bit of extra support. Now you can medicate with mushrooms in the day for energy and cannabis at night for calm. Since mushrooms help with focus, energy, and resilience, they are are best taken during the day. Now, they say cannabis can also become a powerful, effective wellness regime when you combine it with various traditional herbs and functional mushrooms. Together, they can support immunity, strengthen your body from the inside out, and help reduce stress naturally. Now, as somebody who deals with Crohn's disease, which a lot of people say is connected to stress, if you can find something to reduce that, it can help in more ways than one, more than just help you not get a cold. Now, sleep, as I mentioned, very important. Your body heals when it sleeps. As far as cannabis, one of the things that I find with the cold, and I'm consuming cannabis, is to find a strain that can help clear your sinuses. I find cannabis is a very good decongestant, so you don't have to use the drops in your sinuses to clear them. So, if you can find a strain that can do that for you, why not do it naturally instead of using some type of medication, which they say not to overuse. I talked to my doctor about this a couple of years ago, and they talked the fact that not to overuse those drops in your sinuses, because in the end, it's just going to make things worse instead of better. So find some cannabis, see if that can help you out, and keep your immune system up. That'll help as well. All right, folks, that's it for today. I hope you found it informative and educational. Thanks go out to everybody who tuned into the broadcast. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button before you leave. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, Limestone City Hydroponics.ca, Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, as well as At-Eze.ca. And we'll see you all Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And as I always say, don't forget to educate, medicate, and do not.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.